Hey Freddy, do you know what is God's first commandment? I think so. Is it love the Lord with all your heart? No, Freddy. It's about having dominion. It's all written in Genesis 1:28 to 30. Go and read up for yourself. And as you are there, I want to point out to you that God didn't want us to have dominion over each other. Yeah, boys, Chewy, it's clearly understood. He said we should only rule over the fishes and the birds and every living creature that moves on the ground. You see, that's his first commandment to us. And he never said to have dominion over each other. Stewie, this is clearly understood. You don't have to go to school again to understand that. This is why, Freddy, you should study to show yourself approved. And this is what I am doing, Freddy. Duh. Freddy, there is another fact I want to point out to you. I want you to read 1 Samuel 8 and tell me if it corresponds with anything in Genesis 1:28 to 30. Hey Stewie, I read it, but I can't see the relationship between 1 Samuel 8 and Genesis 1:28 to 30. Well, this is what I learned. In Genesis 1:28 to 30, God didn't tell his creation to have dominion over each other. And in 1 Samuel 8, he showed his displeasure when the people chose a king to have dominion over them than allowing him to. He wasn't pleased because he had Samuel and his sons to judge the people with righteous judgment, while he retained that position as the ultimate king and provider. Now, if that was the heart and mind of God for his creation, and the Bible says that God is a God that changes not, then he is still not pleased with the choices we make. Stewie, you have a point. So you are saying that God's original plan was to have judges to judge his people? Yes, Freddy, judges, and he wanted to be the king and provider, nothing else. So what about the implementation of the fivefold ministry? This is New Testament teaching, yes. And I call it New Age religion teachings. Can you see the trend, Freddy? The judges rule the courts and they are ungodly. The king rules the country and they are ungodly. The ministers, they manage the churches and have become so ungodly that there is an increase in immorality, lust of the eyes, lust of the flesh, and pride of life. So why is it like that, Stewie? You know, Freddy, because that structure has nothing to do with God. It is a governmental structure created to control the masses. So the other question is, was it the king they chose who introduced the fivefold ministry in the church? Or was it the God who they rejected, who appointed the fivefold ministers for the edifying and perfecting of the saints? To me, it looked like it was the king's structure, and it's one that has nothing to do with God nor spirituality. Yes, I noticed the turning point from true spirituality when men rejected God to be led by a king instead. Read 1 Samuel, Freddy. And let me also tell you this, Freddy. Anything that you give homage and submit to is considered to be a god or your God. Wow. Siri, I never saw it in that light. But there are more questions than answers. So anything we habitually and constantly compliment, praise, admire, adore, submit, or look up to is really a god. I see. So then I am making my pastor a god to me, because I do all these things to her, especially when I see her in her dress. Yes, Freddy, you see that luxury car that you spend most of your time cleaning, fixing and driving? It's like a god to you. To prove my point again, Freddy, Jesus came to put people back on the right track. And he teach the only way back to the Father was through him. But it seems like Paul had a different agenda. He preached, follow me, as he followed Christ. Do you think that you can follow a man and fulfill God's purpose? No, Freddy, impossible. Okay, I see the danger. It's the word follow. And God didn't make us followers. He made us all as leaders. And leadership is affiliated with dominion. Yes, Freddy, God created lions. They are leaders and they understand dominion. But certainly, he didn't create sheep. They are the followers. They don't have a clue what dominion is. So in conclusion, Freddy, consider your ways. Are you a follower of kings or a leader like your creator having dominion? Now, let us go into the Bible. You are going to find two teachings. One is of God and the other of a king. It is for you to differentiate the difference. But Stewie, how will I know the difference between the two teachings? Listen to nature and use common sense as your mediator, Freddy. They were there all the time, even before any book was written. Deep, Stewie, deep. So you are saying that common sense and nature is a direct link to the Creator God, and books are a direct link to the King God? Got to take a break now, Stewie. Too much to digest at this time. Have to go and do some digging for myself to get some more light to my shallow understanding.